Listen carefully. This message is not for everyone. This message is for the person who has cried in silence, the person who feels different, the person who has been rejected, misunderstood, abandoned, and spiritually exhausted. Yet somehow, you are still standing. You do not even fully understand why you survived everything that should have destroyed you. But God is saying, you survived because I placed something inside of you that hell could not kill. Hear this clearly. There has never been another person exactly like you. Not before you. Not after you, out of billions of souls on earth. God gave you a specific combination of gifts, pain, wisdom, sensitivity, vision, endurance, and spiritual fire that no one else carries in the exact same way. That is why your life has felt unusual. That is why people could never fully understand you. That is why your spirit has always felt separated from the crowd, because ordinary people do not carry what you carry. You were not created to blend in. You were marked before birth, chosen before you spoke your first word, anointed before your enemies even knew your name, and the reason the attacks increased, the reason betrayal followed you, the reason loneliness became familiar, is because darkness recognized your calling before you did. God is saying, the warfare around your life was proof of the greatness inside you. You thought you were cursed, but you were being prepared. Prepared for a level of purpose that required isolation. Prepared for a calling that demanded suffering. Prepared for an assignment too holy to be trusted to a weak spirit. And now, after every sleepless night, after every heartbreak, after every season of silence, heaven is about to reveal why you had to go through it all, because your transformation season has begun, and once God reveals who you truly are, nothing will ever be the same again. Listen carefully. One of the hardest things about being chosen is this. God will often hide you before he reveals you, and during that hidden season, you will feel forgotten. You will watch other people succeed while you struggle. You will watch fake people get celebrated while your heart breaks in private. You will pray and hear silence, but hear this clearly. Silence does not mean abandonment. Silence often means preparation. God is saying, I hid you because what I placed inside of you could not grow in toxic environments. There are gifts inside you that people around you never recognized, not because the gifts were small, but because they were too deep for shallow people to understand. You always sensed things others ignored. You noticed energy, discerned motives, felt spiritual heaviness before anyone else did. You carried compassion and fire at the same time. You loved deeply, fought silently, cried privately, endured secretly. And because of this, people misunderstood you. Some called you too emotional. Some called you too intense. Some called you too different. But God is saying, you are different because I separated you. Listen, not everyone can carry spiritual weight. Not everyone can survive the battles you survived. There were moments you almost gave up. Moments when betrayal shattered your trust. Moments when the people you would have died for walked away from you without explanation, and the pain almost broke you. But somehow, God kept pulling you back up. Why? Because your destiny is still alive. Hear this clearly. The enemy attacked your mind because your thoughts carry power. The enemy attacked your confidence because your voice carries authority. The enemy attacked your relationships because your love carries healing. The warfare was targeted, specific, calculated, because hell fears people who awaken to their divine identity. And slowly, you are awakening. You are beginning to realize your pain was not random. God allowed certain doors to close because those places could not contain who you are becoming. Sometimes God removes people because they are too connected to your old identity. And when chosen people begin transforming, everything fake starts falling apart. Listen carefully. Some of the loneliness you experienced was divine protection. God was separating you from distractions, separating you from counterfeit friendships, counterfeit love, counterfeit opportunities, because fake people cannot go where God is taking you. Hear this clearly. You kept asking God why people betrayed you. But what if betrayal was exposure? What if God allowed people to leave because they were secretly blocking your elevation? Sometimes God answers prayers by removing people. And yes, it hurts because chosen people love deeply. You gave chances others never deserved. You forgave people who wounded you. You stayed loyal while others lied to you. And still, you were abandoned, but God is saying, I saw every tear you cried in secret. Listen. Heaven keeps records of silent suffering. Every night you cried alone, God was watching. Every moment you felt unworthy, God was strengthening you. Every delay, every closed door, every painful goodbye was building spiritual muscle inside you, because the assignment on your life requires endurance. Hear this carefully. There is a version of you being formed right now that your past enemies would not even recognize. The weak version is dying. The fearful version is dying. The insecure version is dying. God is purifying your spirit through fire, and fire changes everything it touches. That is why your old life feels uncomfortable now. You are outgrowing old habits, old mindsets, old relationships. Because elevation requires separation, God is saying, you cannot enter your new season carrying people committed to your destruction. Listen, the chosen walk through valleys others avoid. You know what it feels like to smile while secretly breaking inside, to encourage others while fighting silent battles, to keep believing while heaven feels quiet. But hear this clearly. The silence was never empty. God was working underground, like roots growing beneath the soil before the tree appears. Your breakthrough was developing in hidden places. And suddenly, things are beginning to shift. You feel it. The spiritual heaviness is lifting. Your discernment is increasing. Your hunger for God is growing stronger. You are becoming more sensitive to signs, more aware of spiritual warfare, more aware that your life is not ordinary. God is saying, the next chapter of your life will confuse people who underestimated you, because they saw your wounds, but not your anointing. They saw your struggle, but not your spiritual authority. They saw your tears, but not the oil God was producing through your suffering. Listen carefully. Oil is created through crushing, and chosen people are often crushed before they are elevated. Joseph was betrayed before the palace. David was hunted before the throne. Jesus was rejected before resurrection. So why do you think your journey would be easy? Your suffering was never proof God abandoned you. It was proof heaven trusted you with transformation. Hear this clearly. You are closer than you think. The enemy attacks hardest before breakthrough, that exhaustion you feel, that pressure, that spiritual tension. It often happens right before God changes everything. Do not quit now. Do not lose faith now. You survived too much to stop here. God is saying, what I promised you still stands. And the gifts inside you are about to make room for you in places you never imagined. Not because of luck, not because of human approval, but because heaven has already written your name into rooms your enemies cannot enter. Listen carefully. You are not behind. You are being positioned. Divine timing does not follow human schedules. God knows when to reveal you. And when your appointed season arrives, no demon, no betrayal, no delay, no weapon formed against you will be able to stop what God is about to do in your life. Hear this clearly. The very thing that almost destroyed you is the thing God will use to transform others. Listen carefully. Chosen people do not become powerful through comfort. They become powerful through survival. And you survived seasons that should have buried you. There were days your heart felt shattered beyond repair. Days you questioned your worth, your future, even your faith. You prayed prayers with tears running down your face. You begged God for answers. But heaven stayed quiet, and the silence wounded you, because you thought silence meant God left. But God is saying, I was closest to you in the moments you felt most abandoned. Listen, sometimes God allows isolation because He is removing noise. When everyone leaves, you finally hear heaven clearly. And in those lonely nights, God was rebuilding you from the inside. Piece by piece, your old identity had to break. Your dependence on people had to break. Your addiction to approval had to break. Because chosen people cannot fulfill destiny while chained to human validation. Hear this clearly. Not everyone was meant to stay in your story. Some people entered your life only to reveal your strength. Some betrayed you because their spirit could not handle your light. Some walked away because your future intimidated them. And some rejected you because they were assigned to delay you. But God turned every attack into preparation, every disappointment into wisdom, every heartbreak into discernment. Now you see differently, now you feel differently. Now your spirit recognizes danger faster. You no longer ignore red flags. You no longer beg for love. You no longer chase people who dishonor you, because suffering opened your spiritual eyes. Listen carefully. There is a dangerous strength developing inside you. Not arrogance, not pride. Spiritual authority, the kind of authority built through pain, the kind of authority demons recognize, because brokenness either destroys a person or awakens them, and you are awakening. God is saying, you cried enough, now rise. Hear this clearly. Your future is bigger than the pain you came from. The enemy wanted you trapped in bitterness, but God is turning your wounds into wisdom. One day, the same voice that trembled from trauma will speak healing over others. The same heart that suffered rejection will become a refuge for broken people. The same person who felt forgotten will become living proof that God never abandons His chosen. Listen, nothing you suffered was wasted, not the betrayal, not the tears, not the waiting, not the depression, not the loneliness. God was using every painful season to carve depth into your soul, because shallow people cannot carry deep purpose. Hear this carefully. There are people connected to your destiny who need your testimony. Your survival will become someone else's hope. Your endurance will become someone else's reason not to quit. Your faith through suffering will become evidence that miracles still happen. That is why the enemy fought you so aggressively, because your existence threatens darkness. The moment you fully understand who you are, chains will break, fear will break, generational curses will break. Cycles that controlled your family for years will end through you. God is saying, you are the interruption. Listen carefully. You always felt different because your spirit carries kingdom assignment. You were never meant to think like the crowd. Never meant to settle for spiritual emptiness. Never meant to stay asleep. That discomfort you feel in toxic environments, that exhaustion around fake people, that deep desire for something eternal, those are signs. Signs your spirit belongs to another frequency. The world could never satisfy what God placed inside you. That is why success without peace never fulfilled you. Attention without love never fulfilled you. Money without purpose never fulfilled you, because your soul was designed for divine connection. Hear this clearly. God is calling you higher, higher in discernment, higher in discipline, higher in faith, higher in purpose. But elevation requires death. The old mindset must die. The fearful mindset must die. The version of you addicted to shrinking yourself for others must die. You cannot carry divine purpose while apologizing for your existence. God is saying, "Stop doubting what I placed inside you. Listen carefully. Your gifts are not accidents. Your sensitivity is not weakness. Your compassion is not weakness. Your emotional depth is not weakness. The enemy tried to convince you your softness made you fragile, but in reality, your softness survived a brutal world without becoming cruel. That is strength, real strength. And now heaven is about to reveal what was hidden inside you all along. You are entering a season where clarity will replace confusion, a season where peace will replace chaos, a season where God exposes hidden enemies and reveals divine connections. Listen, some people are about to leave your life suddenly. Do not panic. God removes before he replaces, and what heaven sends next will not drain you, manipulate you, use you. The next season carries alignment, real love, real peace, real purpose. Hear this clearly. Your breakthrough is not only material, it is spiritual. God is restoring your mind, restoring your confidence, restoring your identity. You are finally seeing yourself the way heaven sees you, not weak, not forgotten, not cursed, chosen. Listen carefully. The enemy spent years trying to convince you you were ordinary. But ordinary people do not survive what you survived. Ordinary people would have quit. But you kept going while bleeding internally. You kept praying while exhausted. You kept loving while wounded. You kept believing while confused. And heaven saw it all. God is saying, your endurance is about to be rewarded. Suddenly, doors will open, opportunities will appear, divine connections will find you, not because you chase them desperately, but because your season changed, and when God changes a season, no human can stop it. Hear this clearly. You are not reading these words by accident. This message found you because heaven wanted to remind you. Your life has purpose, your suffering has meaning, your gifts are real, and your future is still protected by God. The isolation was preparation, the delay was alignment, the heartbreak was redirection, the warfare was confirmation. And now, the version of you that survived the fire is stepping into destiny. Listen carefully. You have cried long enough. You have doubted yourself long enough. You have carried pain in silence long enough. Now heaven is calling you forward. God is saying, you are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not disqualified. You are chosen. Chosen to break cycles. Chosen to carry light. Chosen to awaken spiritually. Chosen to become proof that God still transforms lives. Everything you survived was preparing you for this moment. And one day, you will look back at the seasons that nearly destroyed you, and realize they were the very seasons that introduced you to your true power. Hear this clearly. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Do not give up now. Do not return to fear now. Do not let temporary pain make permanent decisions, because the God who carried you through every dark season is about to reveal why you had to survive it all. And when he lifts you, no one will be able to deny that God's hand was on your life. If this message spoke to your spirit, comment. Chosen, stand firm in your faith, trust God's timing even in silence, and subscribe for more prophetic and spiritually uplifting messages that remind you who you truly are in God. Because your story is not ending in pain, it is beginning in purpose. And heaven says, your time is coming.